Gero is a guy who looks like your average Joe. But he has some dark secrets hidden from the world that only a few people know. He belongs to a clan of poison masters who have honed the ability of performing assassinations with the help of poison which leaves no residue and no one has any clue what happened. Killing people is just like any other day for him. And today his task is to kill a business tycoon who has a weird taste as he likes to sit on bodybuilders while they are doing chair planks and smokes more than my father in one go. The fatty seems to be a total scum of the earth as he doesn't care about anything other than his own profits as he uses the hand of one of the human chairs to snuff out the cigarettes while the wine is being served. He has his personal wine taster as well, responsible for checking whether any wine is being poisoned. But the taster claims that the wine seems to be of a very fine quality and should be completely fine to drink. The wine gets served to everyone, and the fatty gives a toast before taking a huge gulp, but immediately realizes that something is wrong as his throat completely chokes up and he starts bleeding from his mouth, struggling to breathe. Immediately, the wine taster is seized and slammed on the table, while he screams and cries that he is not the culprit and knows nothing about any poison. The real culprit obviously is none other than the poison master Gero, who was disguised as the waiter as he smoothly exits the scene without drawing any attention. Even after killing a person, Gero doesn't seem to care at all, as if it's just another day for him. But while walking back, he witnesses a beautiful woman kissing a man sitting in a fancy car. He stares at the woman while walking and ends up running into a pole. He continues back home where he finds his sister waiting for him on the dinner table. Without uttering a single word, he starts mixing his childish meal, while his sister starts asking him all sorts of questions about the job. She asks how did he manage to fool the poison taster, as that man was supposed to be a hotshot and one of the best at his job. But Gero simply replies that he mixed a little amount of poison in the wine taster's drink every single day to build an immunity. And when he was sure to survive even a deadly dose of poison, that's when he decided to strike. That's the reason why even though the wine taster drank the wine, nothing happened to him, but the main target was eliminated without any issue. His sister seems to be impressed by the ingenuity of the plan, but brings up the topic of succession. Their grandmother, who is the current head poison master of the clan, wants the children to take the title as she is growing old and won't survive long. But to be a poison master, you must be married so that there is certainty that the title won't die with the person and will be passed on to their children. Gero's sister, unfortunately, is an LGHDTV rainbow candidate, so she can't really produce any children with her girlfriend, while Gero refuses to get married as he doesn't want to drag a woman in this dangerous life. His grandmother was so obsessed with his marriage that she almost forced him to marry a girl from the lesser branch of their family, but he somehow managed to escape that. As he was finishing his dinner, he ends up getting a text from his best friend, who is the bug master. He goes out to meet him and finds him waiting near a gazebo with a bunch of liquor at hand. The weirdo is hiding a tarantula or something in his mask and has a centipede-looking scar on his face. They sit down and talk while drinking, and that's when the bug master reveals that he is going to get married soon. He shows Gero the picture of a woman, claiming that she accepts him as he is, and finally he can spend his life with someone who isn't disgusted by him. This arouses a sense of longing in Gero that he didn't know existed, as even he wants a life with someone who loves him for who he is. Gero congratulates the bug master, who leaves in style as a bunch of bugs come out of his shoes and take him away as if he is skating on ice. Gero wonders whether he would ever find that special someone, but decides that he shouldn't dwell on things that are not true. The next morning, he gets a call from one of his regular contacts who operates a company and offers cleanup services at very cheap prices so that even a common person could avail it. And he frequently uses Gero as his way is the cleanest and the most professional. The blonde man takes him to a room where two women start getting all over Gero, while the blondie claimed that the women are his secretary-cum-assassins, but are able to perform other odd jobs as well. Gero isn't interested in it though, and simply gets to the point, and asks who is the target that needs to be cleaned up. The blondie lights up the other side of the room, claiming that today's human scum is named May, and she is a marriage swindler. Gero recognizes her immediately from yesterday as the woman who was kissing the man in the fancy car, but that doesn't affect his behavior at all. The blondie claims that she has been causing quite a bit of trouble on their turf, and he wants Gero to deal with her. With that he leaves, and without uttering a single word, Gero injects May with a special poison of his own creation. He tells her outright that he has injected her with a strong paralytic agent which will cause unbelievable pain in her body, and she will be conscious throughout. After that he will use the final killer, which will end her life. The woman tries to speak and decides to flirt with him, hoping to get out of the situation. But Gero is not a simp and tells her to shut up as it won't save her. The woman, however, continues speaking, claiming that he looks like her first love, and explains that she has conned many people and has taken several odd jobs that she can't even talk about, but it was all to help her sick brother. Blood starts coming out of her mouth, but she continues that if she dies in front of a man who looks like her first love, maybe it isn't so bad. This puts the seed of doubt in his mind, as Gero only kills criminals and the scum of earth, as he starts wondering whether this woman is not a criminal, and whether she really has the hots for him. Before he could do anything, he gets a call from her sister, who tells him that she is moving out of the house and back with their family, as she is going to marry someone in a branch family and give birth to a new heir for their bloodline. Gero is shocked and tells her that she doesn't have to do this, but his sister claims that if she refuses to be with a man, and Gero stays single, her family will force her to have babies with a stranger to save their bloodline regardless, so it's better to go on her own terms. She will have to break up with her girlfriend, but Gero tells her not to, and she angrily asks whether he would marry someone instead then. He tells her to hold on, and immediately turns towards May and asks whether she really likes him, and if yes then would she marry him. Immediately May starts to laugh, claiming that she was just playing with him and wanted to see that look of longing. She claims that a person who could kill her at any point is not a good match for her obviously. But Gero has made his mind and pours his heart out to her, claiming that he has never gone to school or college, so he has never met anyone, and no matter how much he pretends to be a Sigma male, in truth, he is just like any other guy and wants a loving woman who cares about him. He asks whether she would help him find someone who he can marry and promises to keep both her and her brother alive if she agrees. May is confused and bloodied, but before she could reply, the blondie with his goons enters the room telling Gero to finish the job, while firing a warning shot near them. May claims that this is where this story ends, but Gero replies that she is wrong, and this is where their story will start. With that, he turns around and wears a mask. While the blondie and his goons all fire at him, he takes an injection and immediately disappears in a black mist, confusing the goons. But when they look up, they find him hanging on top as he throws a bunch of poison vials that immediately do the job and leave the goons suffocating and knocked out on the ground. He tells May that these people won't die from this and hopefully will have enough trauma to not try anything with him again. With that, he gets back on the call with his sister and tells her that she should stay with her girlfriend as he is going to find a wife for himself and continue the family line. With that, he takes May out, who is still paralyzed, and wonders how to carry her as he has never touched a woman before. But May tells him not to worry since she is a guy. This completely blows his mind as it turns out that May is actually a guy who uses makeup and clothes to become a woman or a man at will, so he can con the maximum amount of people. That night, he sets up Gero's profile, who is still in shock from the revelation that he proposed to marry a dude just a couple hours ago. The next day onwards, the journey to find Gero's wife starts, and they start going to conventions to meet women. To lessen the competition, May also entered the convention and charmed almost every single man towards him so that Gero had enough chance to talk to the other actual women. He also teaches Gero how to dress smartly and stay well groomed. So the next time they go to a convention, Gero sits down in front of one of the women, but he is so nervous that he ends up simply saying his name and the fact that he makes millions every year. May is horrified, but Gero claims that women look for men who could provide, so him making a lot of money should be the first point. He tells Gero to look into the eyes of the women and smile to get their attention. Gero, however, is a complete lost cause as he makes such scary faces that the women probably think that he is a serial killer or something. The convention was a total fail, but May is not going to accept defeat so easily, and he sets up a profile for him on Tinder and even gets him a first date. It goes horribly once again though, as he is unable to take a bite of the food that they ordered since being a poison master. His number one instinct is to never eat something which he hasn't prepared himself. He somehow manages to overcome his instinct and take a bite, but it's of no use as the girl already ran away. Gero feels completely defeated as he met 30 women today and yet failed to exchange contact details with even one of them. but May tells him not to worry and promises to work on it tomorrow. But before Gero could leave, a car whizzes past them and grabs May while Gero tries to chase it, but the car escapes. The kidnapper turns out to be the younger brother of the blondie, who asks May what the hell happened and why has his older brother decided to quit his work in the city and decided to work in the family cleaning business instead. May keeps his mouth shut and gets a lead pellet in the face for that. The guy was about to hurt him more when the driver is shocked to see a man standing in the middle of the road. The goon tells the driver to run him over, but it turns out to be Gero, who dodges the car and uses his super strong acid concoction to literally split the car in half, which loses control and falls off the bridge, while he grabs May and carries him back to safety. Once Gero gets May back to his place, May tells him to meet him tomorrow at the Oceanic Art Gallery that will be held at a cruise ship. Gero says it is too sudden and May should focus on finding more girls for him instead of watching art galleries. However, May is dead serious and he asks Gero to be there at all costs. The next day, Gero reaches the ship on time and May arrives fashionably late. Gero's heart skips a beat on seeing how good he looks even though his brain knows that it is a guy. May holds his hands and says that they should hurry because they are late. But Gero freaks out and slaps his hand away, telling him that he needs consent before touching someone. Anyway, they go inside the art gallery and Gero is taken aback because the place is a perfect date spot with plenty of couples. He asks May the reason behind them being here, and he replies that they are going to have a rehearsal date today so that he doesn't mess up in the future. Gero is shocked to hear that answer, and May tells him that even if by some miracle he ends up getting a girl's number and a date, he will eventually crash and burn because he has no idea how to talk to women. They first see a crappy painting of a dog that was probably made by a sleepy 2-year-old kid, and May acts like it is a masterpiece. He urges Gero to say something too, but he doesn't even know what to think. Next, they see an abstract art, and while May praises the choice of blue color, Gero stiffly replies that it is blue like the sky. May tells him that he needs to be more confident, and then moves on to the portrait of a woman wearing eggplants as earrings. May says that the woman is really pretty and Gero mumbles that May is prettier. May replies that it was too cheesy of a line, and he runs away, asking ChatGPT for better pickup lines. May approaches him calmly and says that he doesn't have to impress him, because a good date is one in which both people have fun. Gero replies that having fun is really hard for him, but May says he needs to try. They soon move to the next item in the gallery, and it is the world's oldest packet of DIY candy that makes Gero go absolutely crazy. He begins yapping about how it is priced at 30 million yen, but he would gladly pay 100 million to buy it. May doesn't understand what is interesting about a packet of candy and leaves, but he is glad that Gero is having fun. He calls out to Gero and finds him watching another art piece by tilting his head. He tells May that the painting looks cooler from this angle, and he decides to try it out as well. After that, May leads Gero around, while he is more curious about his charming qualities. Instead of answering his question, May asks him what he thinks about a middle-aged man who looks like he is homeless and definitely high on something bad. Gero has no opinions about that man, and then suddenly, his really pretty wife comes there, and in a second, a bunch of people surround him for autographs because he is a really popular painter. May says that even though the painter is cray-cray, his fans love him because he is talented. He gives more examples of a baseball player who always comes in clutch, a doctor who saves lives, or a musician who makes people feel something with their songs. May says that all these people are talented and that is their charm. Gero replies that it is cool and all, but it has nothing to do with him because he has no talent. May tells him that he is wrong, because he is a massively talented assassin who defeated dozens of thugs at the same time to save his life. May tells Gero that if he wants to impress a girl using his charms, he should stop wasting time on dating apps and other meetups and instead change his line of work. He whispers into Gero's ears that he should help others, and that sentence gives the assassin a tiny heart attack. May tells him to work as an elite bodyguard or something like that, because in situations like that, he can impress girls by saving their lives. Gero replies that it won't work because he is a poison master and an assassin, but May reminds him that no one said he can't save people. He adds that saving girls and charming them is only the starting point, because after that, he has to make continuous efforts to win over their hearts. Later, Gero and Mei have dinner, and Mei declares that this is the beginning of Operation White Knight, in which Gero will impress girls by saving their lives. Gero first cringes hard at that cliché name, and then asks Mei how he's going to find jobs where he has to rescue people. Mei first shoves his mouth with meat, and then tells Gero about an app called Dark Nav, which is basically like Fiverr or Upwork, but for criminals. He tells Gero that he can find all sorts of shady jobs in this app, and there will be some jobs that require him to rescue people as well. Gero is surprised to hear about the app because till now all his jobs came through a broker. He can't find anything good though and tells Mei that it is not working. Suddenly, he sees something that he can do and asks Mei's opinion on it. He shows him a video of a criminal who has captured a girl named Kyoko and is asking her friends to give all the artwork they possess to him. Immediately after the video, Gero visits the people who posted the job and learns that the girl named Kyoko is actually an art thief. However, instead of stealing artworks for personal gains, she just steals them so that she can return them to their rightful owners. Her teammates want to rescue her at all costs, but they lack the strength and skill to do it, which is why they desperately posted this request on Dark Nav. Gero goes silent on hearing their presentation, and the men think that he won't accept the request because the fee is too little. They wonder if they should sell their organs or steal their parents' savings to save their leader, and Mei realizes that no skilled assassin will be interested in this job. He thinks that this is Gero's chance to rizz up a girl by saving her, and he tells Kyoko's underlings that his friend is a poison master. They freak out on hearing that because they have only heard rumors about Gero, and they think that they will have to sell everything they own to afford the first installment of his fees. However, they are willing to do anything to save their leader, but then suddenly, Gero raises his hand because he has a question. Everyone is terrified of him, but all Gero wants to know is if Kyoko has any problem with men who wear glasses. At the same time, the one who has captured Kyoko is the ship's captain, who bought, stole, and robbed the paintings to build his collection. He creepily licks the painting as if some protesters just threw ketchup on it, and then asks Kyoko to work for him because he appreciates her skill in stealing paintings. Kyoko refuses, recalling the story of the painting she stole earlier. The model of the painting was the daughter of a famous artist, and the owner of the painting was the woman's husband whom the captain beat up to steal it. The man begged Kyoko to get that painting back for him and his daughter, because that is really special for them. Kyoko tells the captain that she promised the girl that she will bring her mother's painting back, and on hearing this, the captain tells his hired assassin to break her spirits. Meanwhile, Gero and Mei return to the ship while tracking Kyoko, and Mei is not happy about Gero revealing his ulterior motives before he even saved the girl. He replies that it is alright, and they follow the GPS tracker placed on Kyoko, but as soon as they climb the stairs, two plus-sized guards point their guns at Mei. Gero immediately jumps ahead and takes out Humpty and Dumpty with a split kick. But Mei has lost his confidence now. He wants to return home, but Gero says that he needs his help in talking with the girl. They follow the tracker while Gero says that he plans to ask Kyoko to date him with the intention of marrying him. Mei immediately refuses that idea because that will get him rejected, and asks him to focus more on the present than on the end goal. Just then, a bunch of guards tell them to stop, but Gero just knocks them all bloody and senseless without any difficulty. Meanwhile, Mei lectures him that Kyoko will be scared and alone, and when he sees her, he should tell her that he is here to save her instead of asking about marriage. Meanwhile, the ship's captain points his gun at Kyoko, and she laughs, saying that she is not afraid of death. However, the captain points the gun at the painting next, and Kyoko panics because she values her promise to the girl's mother more than her life. She agrees to work for the captain and become his side chick, and just as he starts enjoying his victory, his hand melts and falls on the ground, emitting colorful liquids that honestly shouldn't come out of the human body. He freaks out and wonders who attacked him when suddenly, the ghost of the woman in the painting comes out and burns him with hellfire. Or at least that is what he is imagining under the influence of Gero's poison. Gero has cut a hole in the metal walls of the room, and he approaches Kyoko to introduce himself. He tells her that she is safe because he is here now, and her first reaction is that she can't afford to pay a master like him. Gero immediately turns to Mei because he didn't teach him how to respond to this, and Mei decides to step in. He first tries to untie Kyoko's legs when suddenly, The guy in the diving suit grabs the girl and jumps back. The ship's captain also comes back to his senses, and he tells the water master to kill the intruders. Gero wastes no time in putting on his mask and injecting himself with his homemade super soldier serum. As soon as the medicine kicks in, he dashes ahead to attack the water master. But all he hits is water and finds that the water master is far out of his reach. Luckily, he has left Kyoko alone, and Gero immediately tosses her towards Mei and tells him to take her to safety. Mei falls down as he catches Kyoko and tells Gero that he needs to treat girls gently. Gero replies that he needs to save Kyoko first, and he will hear all lectures about gentleness later. Suddenly, the water master pumps up water in his arm to enlarge it and attacks Gero with full strength, ripping a hole in the floor. Gero gets severely injured by that attack, but he already has his weapons out in case the fight drags on for longer. The water master dashes towards him, and Mei panics that it will turn into a bloodbath, but then suddenly, the water master stops and presents a card to Gero. She introduces herself as Ushio and says that they should settle this matter through other means than fighting. She says that a fight between two masters will cause serious destruction to their surroundings and to their bodies, and the fees he has got might not be enough to cover that. She starts waterbending out of nowhere and suggests an alternative way to settle their fight. She tells Gero that she will pay him 10 times what his client has paid to step aside and let her capture Kyoko. Ushio says that since this is business, she believes that any master will value money more than the trust of their employers. She keeps yapping about her business model like she is on Shark Tank, and Mei is confused by what is going on. Suddenly, he finds the syringe with super soldier serum lying next to him and notices that a little bit of the medicine is still inside. He decides to take it in case of an emergency, but Gero sees this and yells at him to not touch the syringe. Ushio realizes that the super soldier serum is a deadly poison, and the reason why it buffs Gero is because he is a master who possesses a modified bloodline that makes him different from other humans. She understands that because Gero is a poison master, he can get stronger by ingesting poison instead of getting weaker. She continues flexing her waterbending abilities as the water master as she claims that modified bloodlines are really amazing. Gero replies that his bloodline is a curse because he is going to drop dead if he doesn't finish his enemy before the poison completely takes over his body. Ushio doesn't understand it clearly, and Gero remarks that her waterbending skills must be because of her modified bloodline too. Ushio affirms, saying that she can control water at will, and her diving suit is strong enough to resist any kind of attack. She then asks Gero if he is ready to settle the matter with her, but his expressions make it clear that he refuses. Ushio suddenly vanishes and tries attacking him from a blind spot, but Gero reads that attack and punches her. However, all he hits is water, and Ushio shoots a high-pressure water bullet at him that he barely dodges. He realizes that if just one of those bullets hits him, he is done for, but Ushio doesn't plan to let him go yet. She says that the poison family is one of the top 5 families in the industry, and he should be taking better decisions to increase their net worth instead of risking his life for a girl. She starts blasting water shots randomly, and Gero dodges them all. Ushio asks him if Kyoko is a client for him or if he is romantically involved with her, but Gero only focuses on dodging her attacks before throwing a tiny blade at her that cuts her gloves. She tells him that this level of attack won't do anything, but then suddenly, her glove explodes. Before she can realize what is going on, Gero rushes in and punches her helmet, and then tries finishing her with a powerful kick. Ushio dodges that and propels herself away with water jets, but Gero catches up and shatters her helmet with another powerful punch. He then tells the water master that Kyoko is just a stranger to him right now, but one day, she might mean a lot to him. He tells her that everything he says must sound like nonsense to her, but he would prefer a normal, loving family over a successful business any day, because he has always been alone. Gero remembers how his only idea of a loving family was through big screens in his training area. There, he got to learn about how other people have meals with their family, or how boys and girls interact with each other and become friends. However, all that was for the sake of knowing the targets he would have to kill in the future. They were not just recorded videos of people, but a live stream of them living their lives without any suspicion that they were being watched through magic mirrors of the poison family. His instructor used to call them the human zoo, saying that these people had no idea about the truth of the world and they were just living their lives guided by fate. Gero was taught that as the heir of the Poison Clan, it was his duty to control the fate of clueless people like these. all while he was isolated from any human contact and never knew the joy of family. Now, he tells Ushio that things like having dinner with family that she calls useless are what he wants at all costs. Ushio, however, is not convinced by his little speech and declares that the future head of the Poison family has such an attitude they are never going to succeed in business. Suddenly, she unleashes her full power and turns the water under her feet into a tornado to lift herself up while creating multiple water tentacles to attack. Gero barely dodges the attacks somehow, but then Ushio decides to change her targets to put him at an even greater disadvantage. She shoots one water tentacle towards Mei, who manages to protect Kyoko but gets hit by the attack. Gero panics as he sees Mei scream in pain and Ushio laughs, saying that she will compensate him for hurting his friends. Meanwhile, Kyoko is alive, and she asks Mei why are they going through all this to help her, and he replies that it is their mission to save her. And she means a lot more than just a mission to Gero, who keeps dodging Ushio's ruthless attacks. Mei tells Kyoko to leave them alone and run away because protecting her is the most important thing right now. However, Kyoko doesn't plan to be a passenger princess, and she asks Mei how can she help. Mei suddenly looks at the super soldier serum cum poison that Gero needs to become stronger. Right now, he is getting absolutely wrecked by Ushio's attacks because he lost all his poison needles earlier when Ushio put him through the floor. He knows that he is not fast enough to catch up to her right now. He recalls how his teacher once told him never to fight another master for less than 5 billion yen. And that too only if his victory was guaranteed. He told Gero that no one should live after seeing his modified bloodline abilities, and he should kill anyone who sees them to protect the legacy of the Poison family. Gero tries to shake off those memories while dodging enemy attack when suddenly Kyoko jumps on top of him and knocks the air out of his lungs. Gero asks her what the hell is she doing on top of him when she should be running, and Kyoko replies that being saved like a damsel in distress is not her style, so she is going to help him win this fight. She shows him the poison syringe he needs, and Gero is shocked to see her hand that has already been damaged by his poison. Before Kyoko can deliver the special steroids to him, Ushio grabs her with her water tentacle and laughs at her stupidity for trying to help a master. She asks Gero how does it feel to risk his life for someone too stupid to be saved. But Gero gets up and thanks Mei for setting him up with Kyoko instead of any other girl. Ushio notices the syringe in his hand and panics, but she quickly orders him to drop it, or she will fill Kyoko's lungs with water. Gero does as she says and drops the syringe, but to Ushio's shock, it is empty and the needle is gone. Gero suddenly dashes towards her with lightning-fast speed, and the next thing she knows, he is behind her. He puts the poison needle at her throat, and Ushio panics as she loses her ability to control water because of his poison. Her diving suit explodes, releasing all the water stored inside it, and in the meantime, Gero saves Kyoko in style. He tells Ushio that she is quite good at her job, so the next time his toilet clogs, he knows whom to call. However, he starts panicking on realizing that his hand is somewhere he can be sued for harassment, and he immediately turns to Mei for advice. At the same time, Ushio feels like her entire body is burning, but then suddenly, Gero grabs her hand and she feels perfectly fine. He looks at the scars on her face and realizes that she is allergic to clean air and should probably move to some Southeast Asian country. He also figures out that she stays inside water all the time so that her skin doesn't come in contact with air, because he read that in the Poison Master's library. Gero tells Ushio that he has prepared a special cream to keep her allergy under control, and she is shocked by this. She asks if he is showing her pity, but Gero replies that he is just asserting dominance by defeating her and then curing her condition, because a businesswoman like her will know not to pick fights with him in the future. After that, Kyoko confiscates the painting while Gero and Mei confront the ship's captain, who falls to his knees and begs for mercy. Gero's delusion poison is still in effect, and the man sees Mei as the woman in the painting, licking his feet and promising that he won't do it again. Mei tells him to focus on acquiring art legally, while Gero also decides to spare him. All this is unbelievable for Ushio, who believes that masters should kill anyone who knows their secrets. But Gero tells her that he doesn't care about killing as long as the captain keeps following a good life. Kyoko also finishes wrapping up the painting and says that she will never let anyone catch her again. She thanks Gero and Mei and offers them a ride home, which they absolutely regret in a few minutes as they have to hang on to Kyoko's shark that drags them through water. After that, Kyoko returns the painting to their rightful owners, and everyone is really happy about it. Gero and Mei are at Kyoko's hideout, and while everyone is emotional, Gero is mixing candy in a corner. Mei tells him that the girl wants to thank him, but he panics because he is not used to receiving gratitude. Mei pushes him in front of the big screen, and the girl thanks him for rescuing her mother. Kyoko adds that when she heard Gero was a master, she thought he would be a really nasty guy, but he turned out to be an exception. Gero is already stunned by this, and then Mei also thanks him because her brother finally got the life-saving operation that he funded. He tells Gero that because of him, so many people are happy, and he is a wonderful person. Gero gets emotional on hearing this, and decides to let out those emotions by cleaning the toilet, when Kyoko stops him and asks about his payment because she definitely can't afford it. She asks if she can pay with something else instead, and Gero's mind is blown as he thinks about asking her to marry him and have his babies. Luckily, Mei intervenes and suggests that the three of them should go out to party instead. However, on the day of the party, Gero and Kyoko are by themselves and he panics, wondering what is taking Mei so long. Mei is just around the corner, spying on them to make sure that Gero has a perfect first date. Mei texts him that he is on another date right now and wishes him all the best, but that makes Gero panic even more. Kyoko soon takes him out to one of her favorite places, a shark-themed bar, which is not what Gero expected at all. All the people there are crazy about sharks, and he wonders if he can really fit in with them, even if he tries his hardest to pretend. Mei is at the bar too, trying to keep an eye on them, as Gero and Kyoko sit down to talk. Gero almost notices Mei, who hides and keeps watching them. He finds that Gero is speechless and wishes that he remembers that when he has nothing to say, he should praise his date's clothes or jewelry. Mei can see a lot of good things that Kyoko is wearing, and eventually, Gero notices them too. He talks about Kyoko's necklace, saying that it looks really old and asks if it is her grandmother's keepsake. Mei is shocked at this attempt, but thinks that it is not half bad, until Kyoko answers that she got it for free with a dehumidifier. Mei signals Gero to talk more about the deal because it is interesting, but he can't seem to focus on the girl. He keeps looking at Mei for hints, who thinks that all the hard work Gero did by saving Kyoko will go down the drain at this rate. Luckily, Kyoko is easygoing and knows how to enjoy herself even if her date is a dud. She asks Gero if she can have his food since he is not eating, and he gladly offers it to her. She thanks him because she loves the dish, and that makes Gero panic more, forcing Mei to take things into his hands. He immediately goes to the big monitor, where different types of sharks are being displayed, and one guy is trying to impress his date by telling her everything about the different sharks. Mei sets up a deranged support shark on the screen that is asking Gero to tell Kyoko a story about his childhood. Just then, the manager comes there to tell Mei that customers are not supposed to touch the monitor, but Mei just wins him over with his charm and gets a free pass. Gero takes this hint and begins telling Kyoko that he can't eat food that other people have prepared, and now it is ingrained in his body. He tells her how he has never done anything except train as a poison master. He cooked his own food and ate alone, and the only thing that mattered was that it was not poisoned. And Kyoko starts feeling bad for him. She replies that she can understand his pain because she was all alone in her childhood as well. She was an orphan, and the other children at the orphanage didn't want to be her friends. One day, a rich man on his deathbed adopted her because he had no heir and no legacy, and suddenly, she became a millionaire. Kyoko thought that she would never have to work a day in her life. Now, but then, she saw a room full of paintings of crying people that completely shook her to the core. She did some digging and found that the man had gotten those paintings illegally. She felt bad about the paintings and their rightful owners, so she decided to send them all back home. She succeeded in her mission, but by the time she finished, she had run out of the fortune she inherited. Kyoko tells Gero that now she works part-time as a waitress to pay her bills, and she thinks that he will find her story funny and pitiful. However, he is impressed by what she has done. He begins telling her about how he did something that made people thank him for the first time in his life earlier. He claims that he wouldn't have gotten the chance to do it without Kyoko, and she has been doing it forever. So she is the coolest person he has ever met. Kyoko gets emotional on hearing this, and she starts hearing the wedding bells already. Gero gets nervous on seeing her cry and asks if he said something wrong, but she tells him that no one has praised her like that before. Just then, Gero sees a hint from Mei, telling him to go for it, and his heart skips a beat as he thinks about that. He removes his shark hat and asks Kyoko if she can do something for him, and she starts feeling the chemistry between them. However, all Gero asks is for her to be his friend, and Mei is devastated that he lost the perfect chance to bag a baddie and fulfill his mission. Even Kyoko is disappointed because she was hoping he would ask her out, and she would definitely say yes. Gero replies that he wanted to propose to her as well, but then he realized that they know nothing about each other. He knows that he made a good impression on her earlier, but she doesn't know his dark side yet. He feels that if she learns about the evil things he has done, she would reject him. That is why he wants to be her friend first, so that they can take their time learning about each other. And once they are sure about it, he wants to be happily married to her. Both Kyoko and Mei are shocked on hearing this, and Kyoko laughs, saying that she never expected Gero to be so sincere. She warns him that it won't be easy to win her heart and then says that she thought he was dating Mei. Gero replies that Mei is just his dating advisor, and Kyoko feels a bit relaxed on hearing that. Later, Gero escorts Kyoko to her car while looking at the second edition in his friend list. Kyoko tells him that since he can't eat food that others make, he should make lunch for them on the next date, and he gets a bit shy on hearing that. Kyoko leaves with that, and just then, Mei comes to tell him that he has found another job for him, which is to become the bodyguard of a CEO's daughter. Gero freaks out on hearing that and says it will be cheating, but Mei reminds him that he and Kyoko are just friends, and she is the only woman he knows, so it's necessary that he has more female interaction. Mei tells him that he needs to talk to different girls to know girls and himself, and then he can find the best partner for himself. The next day, Gero is at a college freshers' welcome party to protect his client, and he feels totally out of place. He has only heard about college students going out to party and drink, but seeing it for himself makes him really uncomfortable. Meanwhile, the girl Shori, he has been hired to protect, is sitting by herself in a corner with her drink. As the seniors call everyone to gather around, Shori crawls on her knees to reach them, but ends up returning without having the courage to join them. As she is crawling back to her place, two seniors approach her to talk to her. They ask if she is having fun, but Shiori suddenly bursts into tears, telling them that she is having the best time of her life, and the girls immediately leave before someone accuses them of bullying. Shori just pulls her unicorn hoodie on her face as she regrets blowing her chance to talk to some friendly seniors, while Gero just watches her and remembers how he got this job. The previous day, he went to the company headquarters, where the CEO was more interested in lifting everyone up than doing whatever it is that CEOs do. The Speedo-wearing bodybuilder lifted Gero, Mei and Shiori as he revealed that it was his brother, who was also Shiori's dad, who built this company from the ground up. He passed away last year, and as per his will, Shiori is to inherit the entire thing. However, his older sister doesn't like that idea, and she has been doing everything she can to claim the company as her own. The CEO says that he doesn't know exactly what his sister is going to do, but he has heard rumors that she has hired some people with strange techniques to hurt Shiori that normal bodyguards can't stop. Gero accepted the job to protect Shiori, who timidly introduced herself while Mei arranged a fake student ID for him to blend in with the crowd. Suddenly, Shiori requested him to take her to a drinking party, and Gero told her that it was dangerous. However, she looked at him with her innocent and tearful eyes, and Gero couldn't resist that much cuteness. He agreed to take her to the party, and now Shiori is asked to stand up and introduce herself to everyone. She tells everyone her name but freezes as she tries to come up with the next thing to say. Hundreds of thoughts form in her mind, but in the end, she just goes with the good old nice to meet you and sits down. Everyone feels awkward now, but it is Gero's turn to introduce himself next, and just the way he gets up like a boss worries Mei, who is working as a waiter to provide him support. Gero wants to show everyone what a top-notch master can do. He confidently introduces himself and then tells everyone to watch him chug 8 pints of beer at once. Mei is worried that it won't work out, but Gero chugs down all 8 beers like a champ, but he is not done yet. As he holds his mouth and squirms around, everyone gets worried and a guy almost calls 911. However, Gero was waiting to reveal the next part of his trick, which is to spit out all the beer in the form of jelly because he used a water-absorbing polymer. He is confident that people will go crazy on seeing this trick, but they are just disgusted and move on to their next target, who is a meditation bro busy with his meditation playlist. He gets up and strikes a pose before introducing himself as Naruko. The senior asks him to tell them more, but Naruko says that he forgot everything because what matters is that he got to meet all of them here. Just by doing that, he pulls all the baddies in the area, and Gero feels that something is definitely fishy about this guy. Later, Gero, Mei and Shiori walk back home, and Gero suddenly asks Shiori why did she force herself to go to the party. He thinks that she wants to improve her communication issues to run her company smoothly in the future, but he thinks that there are better ways to do it. Shiori gets conscious on hearing that and tells Gero that it is not what he thinks. She just wants to be a part of the group. She tells Gero that when her dad was on his deathbed, he told her that she pays too much attention to what people think, and her life would be much better if she let out everything that she has crammed up inside her head. He asked her to enjoy the company of other people, and then passed away peacefully, and ever since then, his words have been imprinted in her head. Shiori starts crying, saying that she can't do what her dad wanted her to do. She talks about how her brain was flooded with things to say, but in the end she couldn't do it. She knows that she just has to take the first step and everything else will fall into place, but there is a small part of her brain that worries that people won't like her. Shiori says that she is not made for interacting with other people, and she didn't talk much even to her dad before he was on his deathbed. She doesn't know why he named her as her successor when there were better candidates for the post. She declares that she wants to become better so that she is no longer afraid of saying things that come to her mind. And that is why she wanted to come to this party. Gero gives her a reality check and reminds her that there is someone out to kill her, and Mei scolds him for being so insensitive. However, Gero wants to tell Shiori that if she really wants to go somewhere, he won't stop her, because he is confident that he can protect her in any circumstance. Meanwhile, the meditation bro Naruko turns out to be the assassin hired by Shiori's aunt, and he calls her to report that Shiori's bodyguard is quite skilled. However, his message is not relayed because he forgot to charge his phone. A couple weeks later, Naruko goes to Shiori's aunt to tell her about the matter in detail, and it turns out that she is not just his boss, but also his sugar granny. The old woman gives Naruko a massage as she yells at him about how it has been a month since she hired him, and he has not shown any results yet. She asks him when does he plan to finish Shiori, and Naruko calmly tells her that the time is not right yet. The old woman is not happy to hear that, and she yells at Naruko, telling him to stop wasting her money. However, the very next moment, she goes silent as if she is hypnotized. Her tone suddenly changes, and she says that Shiori's bodyguard might be good, but Naruko is a master, and no one can beat him. Naruko affirms and tells her that he will complete the job she hired him for. The old woman tells him to either make Shiori refuse the position of the company's heir, or send her to the afterlife soon. The next day, Gero and Mei attend classes with Shiori as usual, and Mei tells him that he doesn't need to make notes because he is not a real student. However, Gero tells him that this is all very new and exciting for him, and he is having fun as a student. Suddenly, the professor asks his group a question about a niche product in the market, and Gero gives him a perfect answer. While the impressed professor decides to nerd out with Gero, Naruko is on the roof of the building, practicing some weird meditation and yoga that involves inflating and deflating his stomach to create strong vibrations that can crack steel pipes. Back in the class, Gero suddenly feels like he is losing his sense of balance, and the very next moment, everyone is pushed down by an immense pressure. He realizes that the assassin is finally making his move, and since he can't separate him from Shiori, he is attacking everyone at once. Gero looks around and finds that the attack is coming from outside the classroom, which seems unlikely to him because he always makes sure that no one has a clear line of sight to attack them. He takes out his super soldier serum from his pocket when suddenly the glass windows of the hall shatter and then the roof collapses too. Gero notices some rubble is about to fall on Shiori, so he quickly injects himself with a super soldier serum and saves her. After a few seconds, the entire room is covered in debris and Gero looks around to find what could have caused this disaster. He is sure that an explosive gas won't work in such an open environment, and there is only one other thing that can do this. He figures out that the Sound Master is behind this because only he could execute such a powerful and precise attack from such a long distance. At the same time, Naruko has also seen Gero inject the special medicine into his body that gave him superhuman strength and speed. Both the masters realize who they are dealing with, and they are low-key excited to face off against each other. Later, Gero calls Shiori's uncle to tell him about the attack and that his niece is safe. He tells Shiori that they should lay low because there will be more attacks on her life, but she keeps staring at the poster for a camping trip that is going to be organized the next day. Mei asks Gero if they should skip the camping trip, but he leaves that decision to Shiori, who in turn goes to her uncle for help. Mr. B Bum keeps working out as he tells Shiori to go on the trip because he knows how much she has been looking forward to this. He wants her to make friends in the college and tells her that Gero and Mei will keep her safe from any danger. The next day, Shiori excitedly leaves for the trip with Gero and Mei, not realizing that the reason her uncle gave her the permission to go ahead was because he was hypnotized by Naruko. Later, Gero and others are in the bus, and he sits next to Shiori, who is sleeping peacefully. Gero realizes that Shiori is not safe at her home either, so they should let her do what she wants. He doesn't have any idea about when the Sound Master will strike, so he wants to stay alert all the time and finish things the next time he shows up. Meanwhile, Naruko is on the same bus with his harem of hypnotized girls who are curious about the countdown tattoo on his hand. He tells them that it is the reminder of a very important promise and smiles creepily while the girls cling to him. Soon, they reach their camping base and Gero takes over the barbecue grill because Mei told him that men who can cook are seen as husband material by girls. He throws all the ingredients up in the air and then shoots skewers at them. perfectly piercing them and landing on top of the grill. Some people are really impressed by his skills and gather around him, while Shiori decides to socialize by offering food to others. However, she can't speak loudly so no one hears her out, and she becomes depressed. Gero notices that and tells Mei that they should help her, but he replies that Shiori asked them to leave her alone because she wanted to figure this thing out by herself. Meanwhile, Shiori is confused about what to do, but then she gets an idea and immediately starts searching her bag. Moments later, she comes out wearing a magical girl costume, and some weebs in the group already feel attracted to her. Mei and Gero watch her eagerly, and then Shiori shows everyone a magic trick by making noodles appear on an empty plate. Everyone is impressed, but Shiori messes up the next part of the trick, causing everyone to laugh at her. At the end of the day, Mei praises her trick and Shiori says that she thought that she wasn't good with words, so she would do a party trick like Gero did on the first day. He gets a bit embarrassed on hearing that, but their moment is interrupted when a senior begins telling them a horror story about a local god who would ask for sacrifices to make it rain. However, the story turns out to be AI-generated slop so that he can initiate the test of courage in which people have to go to the shrine in pairs. All the girls start looking for Naruko so that they can complete the test of courage with him, but he is already in the forest, running like a ninja on the web of threads in the forest, and declaring that today is the day he finishes his job and takes out Shiori. Meanwhile, the college students are gathered for the test of courage, and their senior tells them that normally they would have put the shrine as their goal, but the route passes through a dense forest. He says that they don't want anyone to become a snack for the bears and wolves, so the students will have to find a photo stand in halfway to the shrine and click a selfie to prove they went there. Everyone is excited about it, but Gero finds it all childish. A few minutes later, he goes on the test of courage with Shiori, who is timidly clutching his coat. Gero remembers that Mei told him earlier that this could be his big chance to get close to Shiori because nothing brings two people closer than a little danger. Mei teased him that if he can't make this work, he probably won't get a better chance to make the first move. Suddenly, he is snapped out of his thoughts as Shiori awkwardly thanks him for being with her. She thinks that Gero must be low-key hating on her for being such a pain in his rear. She says that if she just stayed at her home, his job would have been much easier. Gero tells her that it is alright because she would be in the same amount of danger no matter where she went. He then asks her to forget all her worries and focus on enjoying the trip, because that will be the best for everyone. Gero says that people don't get many chances to enjoy life like this, and Shiori shouldn't waste this chance just because there is someone after her life. He smiles and tells her that he will protect her from the assassin when the time comes. His Riz starts working on Shiori, but just then, they reach the cutout and Shiori screams her lungs out on seeing it. Gero tells her that they should take a selfie quickly, but he doesn't know how to operate a selfie stick that even baby boomers can use. Shiori volunteers to click the selfie, but as she checks it out, she finds a mysterious symbol instead of Gero's face. She looks around to ask about it, but to her shock, Gero isn't there. Shiori panics and starts running around looking for Gero, finally finding him near a huge fallen tree. She is relieved to see him, but then suddenly, Gero transforms into the tic-tac-toe monster and rushes at her. Shiori screams and runs as fast as she can and reaches the shrine just as the monster is about to catch up to her. She shuts the door behind her and thinks she is safe, but then she looks around the room and finds a noose hanging from the roof. She is confused and terrified when suddenly, the monster appears in front of her and starts stumbling in her direction. Shiori is too terrified to even move, but then the monster takes the form of her dead father. Shiori can't understand anything now, and then her father pours out a drink to her. He tells her that she is here as an offering to the god of this shrine, and that is why she can talk to his spirit. Shiori doesn't know if she should believe what she is seeing, but she can't control her curiosity and asks him why did he name her as his successor. Suddenly, her dad's face splits into two like a mask, and his inner face is shown crying, saying that he made a mistake by naming Shiori as his successor just because she is his daughter. His face splits once again, this time bringing out his angry side and telling Shiori that she is not good enough to lead the company. Shiori's brain is already at its limit, and then her father's face splits once again, turning into something creepy and inhuman. He tells her that she can never meet anyone's expectations, so she should give up already. His words are enough to hypnotize Shiori into accepting that she is worthless and the world is better without her. She climbs towards the noose, and the tic-tac-toe monster who was pretending to be her father is happy that she is going to kill herself. However, just as Shiori puts the noose around her neck, something inside her changes. She yells that she is happy that she could bring smiles to everyone's faces on this trip. She throws the noose and runs towards the door, saying that maybe she can never become strong enough, but she still wants to improve. She pushes the door open and leaps out, swearing that no one can tie her down, But the very next moment, she realizes that she is screwed. She jumped out from the wrong door, and now she is falling into a river hundreds of feet below her. Shiori freaks out because she can't win against gravity. She tries to come up with ideas and realizes that she has an umbrella. She tries using it as a parachute, but this is not Looney Tunes, and the umbrella is ripped apart by the air pressure. Shiori accepts death because nothing can save her now. But luckily, Gero arrives at the scene just then. He throws a water-absorbing gel ball into the river, causing it to swell massively, and then catches her just before she hits the waterbed. Shiori is in disbelief that she survived, and Gero tells her that the assassin wanted to make her death look like suicide or an accident, otherwise it would create suspicions and none of her relatives would get the inheritance. Just then, the Soundmaster, Naruko, comes there, and Gero admits that his strategy was really solid. The moment Shiori clicked the selfie, he used the sound to hypnotize her and hit Gero with a powerful shockwave to scramble his sense of direction. That is why he couldn't catch up to her in time. Naruko climbs down to their level and starts staring at Shiori like a creep, and Gero takes out a bunch of poison needles to attack him. Naruko immediately puts some distance between them, saying that he doesn't care about making it seem like an accident anymore because he will kill the girl for sure. Gero realizes that he is at a disadvantage here, so he tells Shiori that they need to run away right now. However, she is too terrified to move, and Gero is not happy because he knows he has to carry her now. He thinks that he can do it because he is used to carrying Mei by now. But instead of climbing on his back like he wanted, Shiori climbs up front like a baby monkey. Gero finds it uncomfortable, but he doesn't have any time to complain. He immediately dopes himself and then starts running, but Naruko doesn't have to move to use his abilities on him. He uses the strings tied throughout the forest to use his modified bloodline ability called Mind Whisperer directly on Shiori. She hears numerous voices talking crap about her, and Gero tells her to not pay them any attention because Naruko is messing with their minds. Meanwhile, the Soundmaster sits back on his massage chair while keeping tabs on Gero's position using the threads, and he has realized that Gero can increase his strength by ingesting poison. On the other hand, Gero gives Shiori his AirPods to block out the whispers, but she has a better idea. For some reason, she has two identical noise-canceling headphones, and she tells Gero that they can block the external sounds as well as talk to each other using them. Gero dislikes the idea of wearing cat ear headphones, but he thinks it can work to keep them safe from Naruko's manipulation. Naruko notices that too, so he decides to launch an attack, confident that Gero can't dodge it since his hearing is blocked right now. However, Gero dodges the sonic blade by feeling the vibrations in the air through his skin, shocking Naruko. As Gero keeps on dodging his attacks, he decides to focus on his target instead. He uses his power to vibrate Shiori's headphones, putting her under hypnosis once again. She gets down from Gero's lap and starts running away, and Naruko realizes that her trauma runs deeper than just the death of her father. He smiles like a creep as he plans to use her traumas to break her spirit over and over again. He creates a giant illusion of Shiori's uncle in front of her, who is working out even in her imagination. He tells her that she is a burden to him and he sent her here so that the assassin would kill her easily. The hypnotized Shiori believes him, but then suddenly, Gero enters her illusions and kicks the giant bodybuilder unconscious. He tells Shiori that her uncle hired dozens of people to protect her before him, and he lost a lot of money because all of them were incompetent losers. The only reason he trusted him so much was because of one of his previous clients left an essay praising his skills. Gero tells Shiori that her uncle truly loves and cherishes her, and someone like him will never abandon her. She believes him and breaks out of the illusion, only to fall unconscious. Turns out that Gero hacked Naruko's illusion with his poison and then knocked Shiori out to keep her away from danger. He then calls out to Naruko, sure that he can hear him anywhere in the forest. Gero says that he knows Naruko's power affects people's minds very deeply. It draws out their worst memories and fears and then amplifies them to break them down. Gero is sure that is how Naruko managed to hypnotize Shiori's uncle and get him to agree to this trip. He also admits that Shiori is a walking treasure trove of trauma, but she knows it and is trying her best to overcome it, so he should do her a favor and leave her alone. At the same time, Mei is trying to track Gero and Shiori through a tracker put on them, but they are not around the location. He looks up and down the road, wondering where they are, but then Gero jumps out of the bushes instead. Mei is relieved to see them, but then he freaks out on seeing how Gero is carrying Shiori. He clears up the story to him while Shiori returns to her senses. Mei feels glad that he put a GPS tracker on her thanks to one of Kyoko's henchmen, and then asks Gero if he is fine. He says that he pushed his limits a bit earlier and now he has to go back to finish the fight. He asks Mei to take Shiori and get away from this place, and he is shocked to hear that idea. Gero explains that he has spoiled Naruko's plans twice already, and he will try to get him out of the way before going after her. Gero asks Mei to keep Shiori safe till then, and he reminds him that he is only a marriage advisor. Gero requests him to cooperate this time, and Mei agrees, thinking about all the delicious food he will make Gero treat him to. However, before they go away, Gero takes a look at Shiori's headphones and finds that Naruko transplanted a small transmitter in her headphones when he got close to her earlier. He is sure that Naruko did it to make his powers reach her better, but he still doesn't know what exactly does the Sound Master need to carry out his techniques. Gero decides that he will bring out Naruko into the open and fight him head-on because that is his best bet. And at the same time, Naruko is taking a hot bath while thinking of his next move. He is sure that if he chases after Shiori right now, Gero will get him from behind. He decides to hunt down Gero first and then take his time killing his real target. Meanwhile, Gero is back in the forest and he finds that Naruko's attacks are much more intense this time. Naruko can track his actions by the sounds he makes while moving, and he thinks that Gero's poison needles won't work on him unless he gets close, and gases are not that effective outside. Gero has realized this too, so he decides to cut off Naruko's wires to limit his powers. He sprays his metal melting poison on the wires, but it bounces off because the wires are vibrating at a very high frequency and any liquid will simply bounce off of them. Suddenly, strong winds start blowing in the forest and Naruko uses them to unleash his ultimate move. He creates powerful sound waves that take the form of a gigantic monster, and Gero can only dodge its powerful attacks. However, he quickly comes up with an idea and injects the nearby trees with a special chemical he formulated. Naruko's giant summon attacks him just then, but it suddenly stops, leaving the Sound Master confused. He jumps out of his bathtub and dashes towards Gero, wondering how he could have stopped his summon that was made from sound waves. He can sense that the wires are still intact, which means that his power should work. However, as he reaches Gero, he finds that the trees around him have grown abnormally large and twisted, and they stopped his summon from moving. Naruko can't understand what is going on, so Gero explains that his medicine makes plants grow really quickly, which is all he needed to disrupt Naruko's technique. He explains that Naruko's wires need to be fine-tuned to work properly, and if the trees keep growing, the wires won't be able to play the precise notes. Gero says they can finish their fight quickly now, but Naruko tells him that he has already put the plan to kill Shiori in motion. His giant summon is visible not just to the two masters, but to everyone at the camp, and its mere sight is enough to send them into a trance. They start screaming and fearing that they will die because they angered the god of the mountain. The senior leading them says that they will follow the tradition and make a sacrifice to please the god, and asks the newbies to take out their ID cards so that they can sacrifice the youngest of them. That person turns out to be Shiori, and everyone charges at her to capture her. Mei tries to run away with her, but they both fall from a cliff and get injured. At the same time, Naruko tells Gero that the fear among the students is enough to kill Shiori. They will never calm down unless he dies first, and he has no plan of losing this fight. Naruko suddenly whistles and uses the notes to turn his hand into a chainsaw. He chops a tree in an instant, and uses his chainsaw hand to turn it into a violin. Before using his hair as strings, he gets into position to play, and Gero panics, unsure if he will be able to fight the Sound Master head-on. As Mei takes Shiori with him and tries to run away from the brainwashed mob after them, Naruko says that it is only a matter of time before the girl dies, so he has already won this battle. He declares that he will finish this fight too, and Gero goes full alert mode, wondering if Naruko is going to use his abilities as the Sound Master to attack him. However, Naruko just yeets the violin towards him and Gero dodges it at the last moment because it was not what he was expecting. While he is distracted by the violin for a second, he finds blonde Beethoven running away like his life depends on it. Gero realizes that Naruko was just bluffing to distract him, and his real goal is still Shiori. Gero chases after Naruko, who continues to troll him through the wires spread throughout the forest. He tells Gero that even if he manages to keep Shiori safe and make her the CEO, she is going to suffer her entire life. Her relatives will hate her, and the rotten human society will do its best to tear her down. Naruko says that Shiori is too weak to survive on her own, and weaklings like her do not belong in the world of strong people. He recalls his childhood where he had a training partner who was much weaker than him, but he worked harder than anyone else. Naruko always used to make fun of him, and in the end, his partner died a miserable death. Gero gets bored of his constant yap-aphone and asks him if he is afraid. He reminds Naruko that Shiori broke through his illusions even though he played on her worst trauma, which means she is mentally stronger than people like them. Naruto scoffs at the idea, but then suddenly, he notices something that completely takes his attention away from Gero and his mission. He smells a pool of healing particles that trees release and immediately dashes towards it because that is what he needs the most. He thinks about how the Sound Master's techniques are not built for direct combat, and he needs to be in peak shape to use his power to the fullest, and these healing particles will let him stay at his peak for longer. He jumps on top of the puddle and begins drooling as he thinks about how he is going to go plus ultra for the rest of the fight. He sniffs up all the healing particles and gets ready to unleash his full strength, when suddenly, he feels his body going limp. His vision gets hazy, and he realizes that what he just inhaled wasn't the healing particles, but a poisonous gas that smelled like them. Naruto realizes that Gero predicted what he needed to execute his technique and laid out this trap. Luckily, he has still not taken much damage from the poison, and he decides to exhale all the poisonous gas through yoga breathing. However, Gero arrives there right at that moment and dashes towards Naruto, plugging his mouth with the water-absorbing polymer so he can't breathe out. Gero figured out that Naruto must have some strict conditions to use his powerful abilities, and he guessed that he needed to heal his body constantly to unleash his power. That's why he found a pool of healing particles and mixed a poisonous gas in it, because that is the way a poison master fights. He then sucker punches Naruto with his full strength, knocking out the air in his lungs and leaving him unable to fight. However, the Sound Master is not done yet, and he smiles smugly because he lied to Gero that defeating him would stop the mass hysteria. Back at the camp, the brainwashed students are still searching for Shiori, and when they can't find her, they start panicking even harder. They begin looking for the next youngest person to be their sacrifice, while Shiori watches everything hidden behind a fallen tree. Mei comes running to her and says that he found a trail that leads to a nearby village, so they must hurry there, but then Shiori suddenly declares that there has been a change of plans. She wants to go back now, and Mei reminds her that it is a very stupid idea because her classmates will kill her as soon as they see her. However, Shiori is determined to return because if she focuses on saving herself, someone else will die. She says that if her classmates sacrifice anyone, they will have PTSD for the rest of their lives and therapy is expensive. She has an idea that can prevent them from sacrificing anyone, and Mei can't stop her. Soon, her classmates drag their next target to a cliff so that they can sacrifice her to the local god. But just then, Shiori arrives there, dressed like a witch. Her classmates turn against her the moment they see her, but then Shiori manipulates the flame of her candle to turn it into a giant dragon that makes everyone crap their pants. She tells everyone to sit back and let her exorcise the evil god with her magical powers. Even though she is trembling with fear, her classmates don't believe her and call her a selfish brat for running away instead of offering herself as the sacrifice. Even the substitute sacrifice starts yelling at her, saying that she is just lying because if she was powerful enough to exorcise a god, she would have done it sooner. Shiori bluffs that she just needed time to gather her power, but inside, she wants to just run away before anyone discovers her bluff. Just as she is losing her confidence, Mei grabs her hand and Shiori decides to execute her plan to completion. She sends the flame dragon she created using wires and gas towards the giant avatar created by Naruto, and at the same time, Gero slingshots himself towards the giant avatar. A few minutes earlier, Shiori had called him to ask if he could spread explosive gases all around the giant avatar just as she sends her fire attack towards it. Gero has no problems doing that, and he hopes that Shiori's guess is right and the avatar can be burned down. He sprays highly inflammable gas all around the giant avatar, and as soon as Shiori's flame puppet hits it, everything goes up in flames. With the avatar destroyed, the brainwashing on the students is broken and Shiori says that now they should build a campfire. Back in the forest, Naruto realizes that he has been completely defeated and Gero tells him that it was Shiori who defeated him, even though she is still learning to build her strength. This reminds Gero of his final training session with his partner, who was also his elder brother. His father told Gero to finish his elder brother, because weaklings like him didn't deserve to live. Naruto didn't want to kill him, but he couldn't resist his father's orders, and now he realizes that he was a mentally weak boy all this time. Gero walks away with that, and Naruto asks him why won't he finish him off. Gero simply replies that if Naruto wants to truly heal, he should open up about his weakness to someone. With that, Gero reaches the campsite, and he is dumbfounded on seeing people dance around the campfire because he has only heard about it in stories. Shiori has prepared a thank you gift for him on top of that, and when she takes out a giant candy mixing set that shouldn't fit in her tiny backpack, Gero is so shocked that he falls on the ground along with the professor. Mei asks him if he isn't overreacting, and Gero tells her that the candy mixing set is the largest one in the world. The next morning, everyone wakes up with their memories of last night hazy. They believe that they saw a dream in which Shiori fought a monster, thanks to a medicine that Gero made. Soon, Shiori's uncle comes to pick her up, doing chin-ups on his helicopter. Once inside the helicopter, Shiori thanks Gero for everything and tries giving him a head pat, but he ultra instincts his way out of that. He asks her what is she doing, and Shiori replies that she has borrowed the habit of petting other people's heads from her dad. Mei gives her the permission to pat Gero's head, while he records a video of the poison master getting head pats for the first time in his life. On the other hand, Naruko calls Shiori's aunt and says that he will return the entire fee because he failed to kill his target. The old Karen throws a tantrum on hearing this and calls in the next assassin she has hired, but he gets pummeled unconscious in a second as Gero arrives there with Shiori and her uncle. The old woman freaks out, thinking they are going to kill her now, but Shiori suddenly bows in front of her, begging her to train her as hard as she can so that she can handle this company. The aunt doesn't understand what is going on in Shiori's head, so she explains her point. Shiori knows that this company means everything to her aunt, who worked hard with her dad to build it. She asks her help to run this in the future, and the old woman remembers how her brother asked her to look after Shiori if she showed promise. She finally folds and agrees to train Shiori, who is delighted to hear this. She turns around to thank Gero and Mei for it, but they are already gone. Gero is jumping down the building with Mei on his back as he asks why didn't he even get Shiori's contact details. Gero replies that before he met Shiori and Kyoko, he had only dealt with human garbage, but after meeting these two girls, he found that the world is not so bad. He then declares that it is not the right time for Shiori to even think about marriage, and he can't be unfair to her because of his selfishness. He thought about how she would feel on hearing his proposal, and that's why he decided not to pursue her. Mei is really proud of Gero and gives him head pats, which he reluctantly accepts. With that, they stop swinging around the city like Spider-Man and get on the ground. Mei says they need to find the next girl Gero is going to save when suddenly, Shiori arrives there on a bike, telling Gero that they still have unfinished business. By unfinished business, she means one last drinking party with the three of them. Once they make a toast, Shiori tries to start the conversation by asking if he sees a popular TV show which he has no idea about. Things start getting awkward, so Gero tells Shiori that he rode a shark last week, which confuses her and makes things even more awkward. Mei starts panicking on seeing this and realizes that Gero and Shiori are so different that they don't even have a common interest they can talk about. He decides to intervene to stop them from getting even more distant when suddenly, Gero declares that he has a new party trick. Mei asks him to stop if it is something like the last party trick he invented, but Shiori is interested in seeing it. Gero walks away from them, and Mei hopes that he doesn't do something stupid that risks his chances with Shiori. Suddenly, Gero turns around and pulls a flower out of his sleeve before tossing it up. The lights go out, and the next moment, it starts raining flowers. Gero says that he used to think getting everyone's attention was what makes a party trick great, but after meeting Shiori, he realized that he also has to entertain people. Shiori gets excited on hearing this and decides to show some of her own party tricks, and the two of them keep one-upping each other for the rest of the night. Mei is happy that they have at least something in common, but by the time the party ends, he is fast asleep. Gero tells Shiori that it was great working with her, and she asks if she is going to see him again. He replies that probably not because his mission is over, but Shiori says that she is really greedy. She doesn't want to miss out on college or her job as the CEO, and neither does she want to miss out on love. Gero's heart skips a beat on hearing this, but before he can say anything, Shiori's uncle comes there to take her home. Shiori gets flustered on seeing him, but still manages to ask for his contact details. And once she has left, Gero starts panicking, trying to wonder if she was really into him or if she was being friendly. Mei tells him not to think too much about it and focus on building a good relationship with Shiori for the time being. He then begins selecting new missions and tells Gero that there is one job scheduled for Sunday. However, he refuses it instantly, telling Mei that he has to attend a friend's wedding on that day. Gero tells Mei that his lifelong friend, the Bug Master Toshi, is going to get married this Sunday. He shows him a picture too, and Mei Loki freaks out on seeing the centipede mark on the Bug Master's face. He claims that this is exactly what he imagined on hearing the words Bug Master and tells Gero to have fun at the wedding. Mei starts running away, but Gero tells him to stop because Toshi sent a butterfly to invite him too. Mei is shocked to see a butterfly hovering near him, but as soon as he lets it rest on his hand, he he realizes that there is a personalized invitation written on its wings. In the invitation letter, Toshi thanks Mei for helping his friend find love and asks him to attend his wedding because any friend of Gero is his friend too. Mei is completely bowled over by how Toshi sounds like a total gentleman in the letter, and then Gero says that this is the first time he is ever going to a wedding, and he doesn't have the right clothes for it. He nervously tells Mei that he wants to look drippy for his best friend's wedding, and Mei is glad that he has got the right attitude about it. He tells Gero that there is also the chance that he will find someone new at the wedding. He suddenly gets another idea and says he will buy new clothes for the wedding as well, and Gero will be the one to pay the bills, but that doesn't sit very well with the Poison Master. The next Sunday, Gero and Mei go to a beautiful church by a cliff to attend the Poison Master's wedding. There are beautiful butterflies flying everywhere and giant insects that are incredibly friendly with the kids. Gero is speechless on seeing this, and Mei remarks that this looks like a scene straight out of a fairy tale. Just then, a scary-looking man arrives there, with needles in his hands and mouth. Mei freaks out, thinking that he is a threat, and the very next moment, the man throws all the needles at Gero's face. Gero falls on the ground and starts writhing in pain as his veins swell up, and Mei thinks he is gone forever. However, he gets back up the very next moment, looking more refreshed than ever. The needle guy walks up to him and says that he looked really tired, so he just used a little acupuncture technique to make him feel better. Gero hands the needle guy a bundle of cash with the needles still sticking out of his face, and then introduces him to Mei as Tsunagi, the needle master and another old friend. Once Tsunagi takes the cash, he turns around to three boys who have inherited his spiky hair and jesty personality. He tells them that they have got the money to go to Disneyland next week, and the boys immediately pounce on him with joy. Mei is surprised to see that Tsunagi is a good dad, and he also recognizes that he is Gero's marriage advisor. He pities him because he knows how hard it is to set Gero with someone. Just then, two dragonflies carry a speaker to alert everyone that the bride and groom are arriving. And next, Toshi carries his bride as a giant butterfly airdrops them. As Toshi begins talking about how they first met, Gero drifts off into his memories. He remembers the time when he was a hot-blooded teenager who was already taking out criminals from the underworld. He had a dozen missed calls from Toshi, so he decided to meet him. Gero thought that Toshi wanted to curry favors with him to get the prestigious Poison family to treat their clan better. But Toshi chuckled at the idea and told him that he just wanted to have a drink with him. Gero couldn't understand why would Toshi want that, but that is how their friendship started. He is snapped out of his thoughts by Mei, who asks him if he heard the story of how Toshi saved his bride when she was about to fall from a mountain, and Gero remarks that it is just like his friend. The marriage ceremony proceeds smoothly, with bees acting as the ring bearers. The bride and the groom exchange their rings, and then Toshi starts trembling as he lifts his wife's veil. Gero is really happy for them, and he asks Mei if he will be able to pull off a perfect wedding like this. Mei assures him that he will have an even better wedding because he is there to help him out. With that, Toshi and his bride move through the hall while greeting their guests, unaware that some people are incredibly jealous of their happiness. Gero notices it too, but he doesn't act immediately. However, when he is having lunch, a pink spider jumps on his shoulder, and he immediately springs into action. Mei tells him to stop because he has to deliver a speech next, but Gero asks him to handle it for him. He rushes outside, somehow communicating with the pink spider Julia, who is Toshi's partner and wants his big day to go without any trouble. Outside, Toshi's enemy tells the mercenaries he has hired to storm all the entrances and kill everyone they see. He tells them to run as soon as the Bug Master and his friends start fighting back, at which point he will directly attack the bride. However, as he is explaining his evil plan, the mercenaries are pulled away one by one, and when the attacker turns around, he sees them trapped in a spider web with Gero standing in front of them. Scarface feels a little disappointed and says this is what happens when you hire mercenaries from Fiverr. He decides to change his plans and deal with the troubles himself, immediately launching a barrage of bombs towards Gero to create a maze of fire. Scarface laughs, saying that he was saving this attack for the fleeing guests, but it is Gero's fault for being such an easy target. He begins cursing Toshi next, saying that he was perfectly content with his stupid, miserable, boring life before he came. Scarface was a jobless bum who spent his life in his room. He didn't care about anything at all and racked up a lot of debt. To pay the debt, he was surgically modified by the puppet master to become a hitman. With bombs fitted in his hands, feet, and head, he was ordered to take out his targets and die with them in a blaze of glory. Scarface used the bombs in his hands without holding back, and for the first time, he felt thrilled and excited to live even as he lost his hands. However, he lost that spark when Toshi came into his life. Scarface had already lost his hands and legs by then, but Toshi gave him the best chance to attack by hugging him. Scarface was eager to detonate the bomb in his head by grinding his teeth. But when he did it, nothing happened. A little wasp flew out of his mouth and Toshi told him that he disarmed the bomb in his head so that he doesn't have to live in constant fear of death anymore. Ever since that day, Scarface has held a grudge against the man who destroyed his passion. And now he wants to hit him where it hurts the most. He got new hands and legs from the puppet master for this mission, and he thinks that with Gero gone, he should head straight to the church. However, when the flames of his previous attack die out, he finds Gero completely unharmed because he was protected by a thick layer of spider silk. Gero finishes his call with May, telling him what to say in the speech, and then turns his attention to Scarface, saying that no nice guy has a grudge against Toshi, which makes this fight really simple for him. Meanwhile, May goes to the stage and tells everyone that Gero got a tummy ache because he was nervous, so he will deliver the speech on his behalf, not mentioning that he agreed to it only in exchange for dinner at a 3-Michelin-star restaurant. Outside, Gero fights against Scarface, who has explosives installed in his prosthetic gloves. He manages to push Gero back easily and acts cocky, telling him to use his modified bloodline abilities already because he can't win without them. Gero charges at him in his base form and tries to blitz him, saying that he won't waste his bloodline abilities on a nobody like him. However, Scarface can keep up with his base form, and he uses rocket thrusters in his feet to kick into a river. Luckily, Gero has the pink spider with him whose abilities help him ape Spider-Man. He swings back up from the cliff and lunges towards Scarface, who barely dodges the attack only to find that there is a rope around his legs. Gero swings him around and tosses him away, asking him to get lost because he doesn't want to shed blood on the happiest day of his best friend's life. However, the puppet master is constantly monitoring the situation, and he tells Scarface to self-destruct and take the bug master out with him. He removes the limiter on Scarface's prosthetics, allowing him to fly towards the church like Iron Man on steroids. Gero chases after him but realizes that he is not fast enough to stop him. Meanwhile, Scarface reaches the church and gets ready to blow Toshi. But as soon as he sees his bright smile, he loses his motivation. He wonders how can someone who is way deeper into the underworld be kind enough to hug an enemy so carefreely. Toshi's kindness makes him forget all the hatred inside his heart and Scarface flies towards the sky, ignoring the puppet master's orders to blast the church. Once he is high up in the clouds, he shoots his prosthetic limbs in different directions as a wedding gift to the bug master. Meanwhile, May finishes his speech in the church, and at the same time, Scarface's prosthetics explode, clearing the rainy clouds and letting everyone witness a beautiful sunset. After a while, Toshi thanks May for the speech and for helping Gero on his wife hunting quest. May tells him that it is not a big deal, and then asks him why is he so nice to Gero. Toshi replies that it is actually the other way around, and Gero is the one kind enough to call him a friend despite the power dynamics between their families. May doesn't understand why there would be a difference between the families of two masters, and Toshi tells her that there are levels to this shit. He explains that the bug master family started with poisonous bugs, and the needle family started with poisonous needles. Both of them are subordinates to the poison master family, and the hierarchy in the underworld is really strict. Toshi then explains that the Poison Master family is one of the top 5 families in business. The Bug Master family has served them for generations, and the first time his father took him to the Poison Master mansion, he was literally sweating and terrified for their lives. He told him that they lived at the mercy of the Poison family, and if he wanted to survive, he should obey whatever they say without question. That was the first time Toshi met Gero, who had just been named the heir of the Poison family. Toshi's father introduced his son to Gero, asking him to treat him as a bug whose only role in life is to serve him. However, Gero walked away quietly, saying that Toshi wasn't a bug. That is what made Toshi realize that Gero wasn't a monster like other masters, and he was a good guy deep inside. Toshi ends his little flashback by telling May that it is Gero's kindness that he attended his wedding despite the differences between them. Just then, the Needle Master also arrives there and suddenly bows to May. Toshi joins him as the two of them request May to help Gero find a wife, even though the job is really tough. May replies that he knows that Gero is a really good guy and he will definitely help him find a good wife. A few moments later, Gero returns to the church and he is stunned to see how well May is bonding with his friends. Later, the guests take their leave and Toshi flies away with his bride thanks to his giant butterfly, while Gero and May wish him a happy married life. The next day, May takes Gero to an arcade and teaches him the secret art of pulling toys in the crane game. He tells him how to pick the correct target, how to approach it, and finally how to drop it so that he can do it later and impress his dates. Gero is overwhelmed by the level of finesse it requires to win a prize in the game, but he immediately decides to try it out on a game that has candy sets as rewards. He blows through $1,000 trying to win something, but it doesn't work out at all. May says that it must be too early for him to play such a technical game, but just then Gero notices something he can do better. He goes to the whack-a-mole machine and absolutely demolishes it with his outstanding reaction speed, breaking the previous record. May is impressed by this, but tells him that this might actually scare girls away rather than impressing them. He then takes Gero to the photo booth, and he keeps gaping like a clueless idiot the entire time while May strikes poses. Once they go outside, May suddenly brings up the topic of the hitman hunter, who has been gaining fame lately. Gero gets serious because he has also heard about someone killing famous killers. No one knows the motivation of the hitman hunter, but Gero knows he is quite skilled because he easily took down famous killers like Dan the Dismemberer and Spear Master Kushima. Gero knows that the Spear Master was particularly strong, so not many people could have defeated him. May tells him to be careful as well, unaware that a girl is lurking nearby, keeping a keen ear on them. Meanwhile, Gero asks him if they have to do this silly picture thing that doesn't seem like fun, and May gets angry at him. He says that this is a happy memory they are making together so that they can look back on it with nostalgia. Gero is a bit confused by this concept as he looks at the pictures they got, and May says that they should end their practice date for today. Suddenly, Gero notices someone spying on him and moves ahead to protect May. The pink-haired baddie that was spying on him comes there and says they need to talk. But before that, she needs some pictures with him. Gero is absolutely clueless as the baddie clicks selfies with him, and after that, they sit down in a cafe nearby. The girl introduces herself as Kimmy and says that she wanted to hire Gero and was trying to get a chance to talk to him. May asks her why didn't she post a job on Dark Nav like other clients, and Kimmy starts glazing herself, saying that Gero and May should be happy that a diva like her came to see them in person. May can't deal with narcissists, so he immediately starts taking Gero away, and the flustered Kimmy apologizes and asks them to hear her out. They get back to the table, and May says that he thought that the hitman hunter was here to attack Gero. Kimmy says that this is exactly why she is here. She reveals that she is a master too, and as long as the hitman hunter is on the loose, she wants to give Gero the honor of protecting her. May once again starts taking Gero away from this self-obsessed freak, but he says they should listen to her full story first. May says that a master should be able to defend themselves, but Kimmy says that her abilities are not good for fighting. Gero agrees and says that if a master is so desperate to ask another master for help, the problem must be serious. Kimmy feels her heart fluttering on seeing how kind and considerate Gero is, and as he calls out her name, she starts feeling dizzy and falls from her chair. Gero dashes ahead and catches her, but that makes her condition even worse, and she enters full Delulu mode, thinking that Gero is paying attention to her because he likes her. She starts feeling lucky that the hitman hunter is after her because that brought her close to Gero. She suddenly hugs him and declares that no one can hurt her now, and Gero tries to explain that he hasn't taken the job yet, but Kimmy doesn't listen to him. Once she has calmed down, she decides to show Gero and May her skills as a master. She starts squeaking crazily, and within seconds, a hamster jumps from the roof and hits the superhero, landing on their table. Kimmy says that she is the hamster master, and this is her partner Sirius, the one who found Gero in the city. She explains that she specializes in intel gathering and tasks that need small creatures like hamsters, while May starts gushing over how cute Sirius is. Gero now understands that Kimmy is related to the Beastmaster family, which is quite strong. He knows that even though all masters are expert killers, not many of them are good fighters. He himself doesn't count himself as a skilled fighter and prefers to be called an assassin, but May has seen what he can do and disagrees with him. Kimmy says that the other masters belonging to the Beast clan are eager to take out the hitman hunter, but she wants absolutely nothing to do with the guy, and that's why she wants a bodyguard. Gero says that it will be easier for her to get a bodyguard from the Beast clan itself, but Kimmy immediately shoots down that suggestion. She says that until 3 generations ago, her family served as rat masters and had a good position in the Beast clan. However, their glory days are a thing of the past now, and Kimmy feels that she might be kicked out of the Beast clan soon. She confesses that she has never killed anyone in her life, and her collar is the only link she has to the Beast clan. She explains that the other members of the Beast clan decide things without her, just like how they decided to fight the hitman hunter. They told her that an useless master who can't kill and does a normie job instead should be useful to the clan by acting as a shield, and that is why she is here. Both Gero and Mei are shocked to hear her story, but then Kimmy gets up and says that she feels a lot better after explaining herself. With that, she walks away, confident that the future head of the Poison family won't accept a job from a nobody like her. She is sure that she can't even afford his fees either, but Gero tells her to pay him $1,000 a day because keeping her safe matters more right now. Mei is impressed that Gero is taking initiative by himself, and he doesn't have to act as a matchmaker every time. However, he is completely taken aback when Kimmy launches herself at Gero and starts crying while hugging him because he is so kind. Gero is completely flustered now because this is very new to him, and he asks Mei for help, who tells him to just hug the girl back. The next day, Kimmy meets Gero and Mei in the city and confidently tells them to follow her to meet the Beast Clan. She keeps laughing loudly the entire way, saying that everyone will be shocked when they see her with the Poison Master. Meanwhile, Mei carefully assesses her character and thinks that Kimmy might be the quirkiest girl they have met, but she is a fellow master, so she might be the best match for Gero. Soon, they reach a rooftop animal shelter and Kimmy is excited to introduce Gero to all the other animal masters, but to their shock, every master is dead and only their animals are left behind. Kimmy can't understand what is going on, but then she notices a guy in a white suit sitting near the water tank. Mei asks the guy if he is also a member of the Beast Clan, but Kimmy says that she has no idea who he is. The man gets up and glances at them and Gero immediately gets into action. He tells Kimmy and Mei to run away, but before he can even finish his sentence, the guy reaches him and stabs him. Gero realizes that this guy is the Hitman Hunter, and as he tries to stop his bleeding, the hunter says that he has no idea why the Poison Master is here, but he was on his list anyway, and this makes his job a lot easier. Mei and Kimmy are aghast on seeing Gero injured, but he tells them to stop wasting time and run. They obey his command and Gero tries to assess the situation before fighting back. He barely avoided a fatal injury and can't stop the bleeding properly either, making him wonder what kind of master is he facing. He confronts the guy, asking if he is the Hitman Hunter and what does he want. The hunter doesn't answer his question and instead attacks him again with his knife. Gero somehow dodges that attack in time, but to his absolute horror, the building gets sliced off. He wonders how on earth could the hunter cut through a building with just a knife, and begins questioning if he is even human. Gero jumps away, but the hunter chases him, forcing him to fight back. He realizes that there is not enough time to set a trap for him, so he decides to juice himself to the max right off the bat. Gero injects 2 types of poisons into his body to boost his reaction speed and strength, and just then, the Hitman Hunter charges at him. Gero dodges his attack before landing a powerful punch to send him flying. He then lands 100 punches on the hunter in 1 second before hitting him over the edge. But that is not nearly enough to finish the job. The Hitman Hunter climbs up the roof while talking to his boss on the phone, who tells him that the Poison Master isn't a priority because he is not a villain like the other masters. The Hitman appears concerned about this and says that Gero is still pretty dangerous because he injected 2 syringes into himself. He tells his boss that he will take care of him quickly before he becomes a threat, and then pulls out a metal hoarding from the building with one hand. Gero decides to finish the fight before it drags on any further, but the hunter attacks him with the metal hoarding and pushes him back. Gero takes out his metal dissolving acid and cuts through the hoarding, and even though the hunter is shocked, he still manages to kick him down and then collect all the pieces that were about to fall on the animals. Gero remarks that he is really kind to the animals, and the hunter nervously replies that they are innocent souls who haven't done anything bad. Gero decides to get some more information out of him and asks if he is from the Iron Clan, but the hunter replies that he is a completely normal guy and all his relatives are teachers. This news leaves Gero dumbfounded, and he understands that his enemy is a mutant, who somehow surpassed all the masters and their generations of hard training without any effort. He realizes that he can't win like this and decides to inject himself with a 3rd syringe to become even stronger. The Hitman Hunter is taken aback on seeing this and tells Gero not to do it because this is practically suicide. Gero does it anyway and immediately regrets as blood splutters out from his eyes and ears. He falls on the ground, realizing that he couldn't handle 3 doses while he was injured. The Hitman Hunter walks up to him and says that he has to die because he killed people mindlessly and spread hatred everywhere. Gero gathers all his strength and rage and asks the hunter not to touch Mei and Kimmy. He passes out with that, and while the hunter wonders what was that, Kimmy's hamster rushes there to protect Gero. She also returns to the rooftop and tells the Hitman Hunter that he isn't going to kill Gero on her watch, and Mei panics because he knows there is nothing the hamster master can do. The hunter tells tells her to step back or he will finish her too. And Kimmy starts lashing at him. She tells him to cut the crap about spreading hatred because Gero is a kind guy who offered to become her bodyguard. She would not have acted as a shield for other animal masters, but she will put her life on the line to protect her favorite. Kimmy immediately summons an army of hamsters and uses her modified bloodline to fight. But the best she can do is mimic a constellation with a bunch of angry little rodents. May realizes that they are doomed when suddenly, the hunter picks Gero up and starts walking away. Kimmy asks him where is he going, and the hunter replies that Gero is really injured, so he is taking him to a hospital. This leaves everyone bamboozled, and even Gero wakes up to ask the hunter if he wasn't trying to kill him. The hunter replies that he has never seen two unrelated masters protect each other, so he doesn't want to kill him anymore. He is not sure if that is a good enough reason. But Gero simply asks him to let him down because he can patch himself up. As he gets a blood transfusion, Gero hears the story of the hitman hunter Pichai, who says he heard that the Beast Clan was about to do something dangerous that would kill a lot of people, so he wanted to wipe them out before that. However, he didn't know how to find them, so he asked around and took care of all the dangerous people he met on the way. Gero understands what Pichai is saying because he knows that Dan the Dismemberer and the Spearmaster would not hesitate in endangering civilians to complete their mission. Pichai says that he just wants to open a cafe with his girlfriend, but he cannot do it unless the world is safe from dangerous people. He thought that Gero and the Poison Clan would be dangerous as well, but he changed his thoughts after meeting him. For now, he plans to take down the Beast Clan, and Gero thinks that he might actually pull it off. Pichai then asks Gero if he knows anything about the Beast Clan, but he has no idea, and Kimmy can't help him either because she has never been to the main family. Suddenly, the choker around her neck starts to move, and she collapses. Everyone is worried about her when a bat starts flying above them, and the choker takes the form of a tiny snake. Gero tries to remove it, but the Beast Master suddenly starts speaking through the bat, saying that if he removes the snake, it will suck all of Kimmy's poison. He says that she has just 3 days to live at this rate, and if they want to save her, they should face him at the headquarters of the Beast Clan, the Dogo Animal Kingdom. The next day, Gero, May, and Pichai head towards the Dogo Animal Kingdom on a motorboat, following the Beast Master's bat. Gero can't believe that May has a first-class boating license, and he explains that it makes him look rich when he is trying to scam rich middle-aged unks into marrying him. He also has various other talents like being a certified engineer, a secretary, a bartender, drone operator, and a few others. May keeps listing the things he learned just to be a marriage swindler, and Gero realizes that he is a master of his craft too. Meanwhile, Pichai is taking a nap and Kimmy is on the front of the boat, looking at their destination. Gero is worried about her because he couldn't find any way to remove the blood-sucking snake collar from her neck, and he is ready to use Truth Serum on the Beast Master to find a way to free the girl. Just then, Kimmy turns around and thanks Gero for doing a wonderful job of protecting her from the hitman hunter. However, she tells him that this is where they part ways because she doesn't need him any longer. She declares that she will negotiate with the clan leader herself to get out, and then laughs loudly, telling everyone to return back now. Gero realizes that she is just trying to act tough and tells her that she doesn't need to pretend. Kimmy immediately drops her act and tells Gero that this is obviously a trap to kill him, and she doesn't want that. She starts crying, saying that he has already done too much for her, and she doesn't want him to risk his life for her. However, Gero coldly replies that he wants to risk his life for her because he feels that if he abandons her right now, he might not be able to make anyone happy. Kimmy and her hamster Sirius start crying on hearing this, and just then, Pichai also wakes up. He is not concerned with the melodrama going on and says that he will be okay as long as he can wipe out the Beast Clan. Soon, they reach close enough to the island and Gero tells May to return to the port and wait for them, because he can't let him be in danger. May agrees and tells him to return alive so that they can continue hunting for baddies. Gero affirms and pulls out a floater, wondering what does the Beast Clan want with him because they wouldn't go out of their way to kill a member of the 5 great families. Suddenly, a gigantic squid appears right under their boat and grabs it from all sides. Before Gero can even react, the boat rattles hard and Kimmy falls off. But then an eagle grabs her and flies her towards the island. Gero realizes that the Beast Clan was waiting for them, but that doesn't matter because he needs to rescue Kimmy first. He immediately injects himself with some peds and then leaps towards Kimmy. He can't reach her and hits water instead. But he took that into account because his injection boosts his speed enough to let him run on water. While May is amazed by Gero's abilities, he notices the squid leaving the boat and getting ready for an attack. It squirts a high-pressure stream of ink towards him, but luckily, Pichai is able to cut through it. He has his smartphone on one hand, playing a YouTube tutorial about how to chop up squids for dinner, and that's what he plans to do. The first step is to pull out the tentacles and the insides of the squid, but Pichai decides to chop up the tentacles first. The second step is to cut the squid's body in the middle to get out the ink sac. But he skips to the third step and immediately dices the squid into small cubes. May can't believe his eyes as squid meat cubes rain down on him. But Pichai is totally nonchalant and wonders if he can serve squid noodles in his future cafe. At the same time, Gero reaches the island and finds a guy named Koda holding an unconscious Kimmy while the eagle carries him. He introduces himself as the world's fastest man, but Gero is not interested in his crap. He is sure that Koda is not the Beast Master and merely a member of the Branch family sent here to do his bidding. Gero asks him why does the Beast clan want them dead so badly, and Koda says that he has no clue whatsoever. But he knows that if he kills the Poison Master, he will be having pool parties with Bezos and Musk, so that are his reasons. Gero asks him why are they dragging Kimmy into this fight, and Koda replies that he was told that if he takes the girl hostage, he can bring down the Poison Master easily. He claims that even though he doesn't feel good about it, he is a master and leaves his feelings out of his job. He then starts yapping about what a nice guy he is. But Gero tells him to shut up and reveal how to get rid of the python collar. Koda gets serious as he reveals that even trying to find that out is a crime, and then summons thousands of seagulls to help him fight. Gero gets swarmed by the seagulls, so he injects himself with another dose and dashes ahead. But Koda is ready there with his imaginary domain expansion. He hangs upside down from his eagle and hits Gero in the guts with a baseball bat. Gero realizes that Koda is indeed really fast and strong, and his branch must be really close to the main family. Meanwhile, Koda realizes that even though Gero comes from the main branch of one of the 5 great families, he lacks the combat strength compared to him. He is confident that as long as he has his birds around, he can win, and then he plans to go to the US and create a modified baseball league called Birdsball. At the same time, the Beast Master is watching the fight on huge fish eggs, and he starts finger-banging one egg till it spurts out. The freak licks the egg juices, imagining Gero's blood, and his blindfolded cat girl servant asks him if he really thinks Gero will lose to the Bird Master. The Beast Master tells her that Gero will obviously win because Poison Masters rely on traps and tricks. He is sure that Gero has something up his sleeve, and he starts bending over backwards as he tells the cat maid how excited he is to face the Poison Master. She simply puts him straight again, and they watch the fight where Koda thinks that he can go for the kill now. He makes his seagulls cover Gero's vision and then gets ready to slug a few rocks at him. But just then, Gero uses a poisonous gas as a smokescreen. Koda thinks that he might be setting up a trap, so he turns his seagulls into fans to blow out the poisonous smoke. But before he can finish giving the order, Gero smacks him right in the face. The Beast Master realizes that the smokescreen was the real trap, and it was meant to distract Koda long enough to give Gero a chance to attack. That was indeed what happened, and Gero walks to the defeated Bird Master to learn more about the enemy. Before he can ask anything, Koda tells him that the main family lives on the top of the mountain, but knowing that won't make much difference because it is still going to be tough to reach there. Gero decides to push his luck and asks how many enemies are there, and Koda yells that he is not telling him a single thing. However, he can't control his yapping and spills everything to Gero, including which masters he should watch out for. He even talks about the python collars and says that no one has ever been able to get free of them, but he heard one rumor. However, before he can say anything else, the snake collar tightens around his neck and the Beast Master Dogo starts speaking through it. He welcomes Gero to his kingdom and says that he was really interested when he saw the Poison Master taking bodyguard jobs that don't pay any money. He asks the reason for all these charity gigs, and Gero doesn't hesitate as he declares that his reason is marriage. He explains to Dogo that he is meeting girls by acting as a heroic bodyguard so that he can find someone to marry. Dogo starts laughing like a maniac on hearing this and says that he finally understands why the future head of the Poison Clan was willing to fight for a nobody like Kimmy. He then decides to give Gero some advice as a fellow master, and says that the Poison Clan has perfected their bloodline for generations, and if he makes kids with someone as useless as Kimmy, it would be a great loss to their entire industry. He tells him to look for better chicks to have kids with him, and that infuriates Gero. He tells Dogo that it is a good thing that Kimmy is unconscious because she would get sick by hearing his filthy thoughts. Dogo doesn't take those words kindly, and he immediately launches an attack. He sends a small mechanical squid towards Pichai and May, and it explodes right in front of the boat. At the same time, Gero gets hit by a train of birds. He wonders what is going on and finds that Koda is back in fight, and this time, he has made a spear out of his birds. But he is being controlled by Koda, saying that he mixed the powers of the Bird Master with the Spear Master. Koda can now use the same techniques as the deceased Spear Master, who could launch 88 strikes per second with his trusted spear. He feels like he is on the top of the world with his newfound abilities, while Gero is having a tough time beating the bird spear. He wonders how can Kota use the abilities of the spear master, when he suddenly remembers that Pichai said that the Beast clan was planning something dangerous. Kota doesn't give him the chance to think as he keeps overwhelming him with fast-speed bird projectiles and then combines a bunch of seagulls to form a huge bat. Meanwhile, Dogo starts drooling as he says that he can combine the bloodlines of different clans to create hybrids that are stronger than both clans, and this is the way to thrive in the modern era. He tells his cat girl maid to watch the fight with him, but notices that she is gone, and wonders if she went to collect the other guy. Meanwhile, May drags the unconscious Pichai on the shore because he got injured while shielding him from the blast. Luckily, May's lifeguard training came in clutch, and he managed to pull him to safety. Even though they survived the explosion, their boat got sent astray, and they ended up on the opposite side of the island. May complains that he is just a marriage swindler, and he shouldn't be even involved in such dangerous matters when suddenly, he notices a polar bear watching him. The bear lifts its paw to attack, but then it suddenly starts showing off its karate black belt to May, who is really impressed by the polar bear's clean form. He tells the bear that he is awesome and should keep practicing, but just then, the bear remembers his true mission and goes for the hunt. At the same time, Gero stands firmly as Kota comes swinging at him with his giant bird bat. However, the moment he hits Gero, the birds scatter and fall on the ground, and Kota begins to wonder when did he poison his birds. He suddenly realizes that the birds drank Gero's blood when they attacked him earlier, and that must have been when he poisoned them. Gero affirms, saying that he used a muscle-relaxing poison that he is immune to, but it will surely work on the birds. Kota finds all his birds dropping one by one, but he makes a last-ditch effort by telling them to attack Gero at once. However, Gero simply grabs his head and smashes it into the ground, knocking him out. With that, Gero helps Kimi regain her consciousness and even heals the birds while Kota lays on the ground, unable to move. He asks why is Gero helping him, and Gero replies that his fight is only with the Beast Master and Kota is just a baseball junkie working for him. Kota accepts his defeat on hearing that and tells Gero that he will surely beat him the next time. However, Dogo rips apart a toy bird just then, and it leaves Kota with fatal internal bleeding. Everyone is horrified to see this, and Dogo explains that he can merge two bloodlines together, but if he decides to let them loose, they fight against each other and their host dies. He laughs, saying that branch family members are just toys for the main family, and he used Kota to experiment while he is using Kimi to tie Gero down. Just then, his bat captures the surviving seagulls that have drunk Gero's blood in a net and drags them away, while Gero and Kimi watch Kota breathe his last. At the same time, the polar bear attacks May, but Pichai wakes up at the last second and slashes the bear with his knife. However, he finds a huge leech sucking his blood the very next moment, and May warns him that the bear is not dead yet. Luckily, the bear doesn't attack him and only runs away after grabbing the leech. Turns out, the bear was actually the cat made by Akko in disguise, and she was on the mission to collect Pichai's blood. Dogo is really happy with her because now he has got the blood of both Gero and Pichai, which will allow him to create his masterpiece. Till now, he was having problems conducting his hybridization experiments because the two bloodlines reject each other and the wielder dies. However, he knows that Gero's blood has been evolved to endure any kind of poison, so it won't reject the experiment, and he can merge it with Pichai's blood that greatly boosts all physical abilities, and that will help him complete his plan perfectly. On the other hand, Gero and Kimi hide in a cave while they recover. Gero thinks that the Beastmaster might dispose of Kimi any moment like he did with Kota, so he needs to take action soon. He gets up to continue the fight, but Kimi tells him that he is not fully fit yet. Gero doesn't listen to her, so Kimi makes her hamsters push him on her lap, because she wants to do something to help him. She cries, saying that even though she is a master who has never been hired to kill anyone, she was content with her life and never wanted any type of power. However, after being helpless while Gero was getting injured for her sake, she began to think if things would be different if she was more powerful. She starts calling herself the Sakura of the assassin world, but Gero tells her that she is not useless, and they will defeat the Beastmaster together. But that's where this video ends. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.